Caulfield Race 1, it's a mare's benchmark 90 over 1100 metres. My numbers are 1, 3, 7 and 8. I think with the rail back in the true position, early use of the track will be vital. And I think number 1, All Over Bossa Nova, probably finds the front here. And with the claim for Kayla Crowther, will take a lot of running down. Recent form's been very strong for a race like this. To beat number 3, Grey Shadow, I'm a bit of a wrap for this mare. She's got a terrific record at 1100 metres. She's a multiple winner at Caulfield. Just going to get back a little bit, but she'll be hitting the line strongly. 7, Miss Vixen, likewise, will get back. She's won at 1100 metres at Caulfield and was back to winning form at Sandown last time out. And 8, My Biddy, got very wound up in the mounting yard first run on the mainland for the Doug Harrison stable. She ran well. She was just beaten narrowly by Miss Vixen and she'll be fitter for that run. But I do think All Over Bossa Nova will take a lot of running down. 1 from 3, 7 and 8. Caulfield Race 2, it's a benchmark 78 over 2,000 metres. My numbers are 12, 3, 6 and 5. I'm going with number 12, Grinzinger Star. This is a 3-year-old taking on the older horses, but he beat a really good 3-year-old and Mr. Quickie last start, and he beat him well. I think the longer trip will suit, and I think it'll be hard to beat. From 3, Zabalan. This horse has come to hand very well for the Mar Eustace stable. Both runs have been excellent, and he too's looking for the longer journey. 6, Dark Pearl. Quite a good run last start. It was 2,400 metres and she tended to over race in that race. I think back to 2,000 metres suits, can be very competitive here. And 5, Ryan's Fender, has his races spaced because he really puts a lot into them. He ran very good time in winning at Moonee Valley last start. He had a hard run, but he kept going well. He'll be up on the speed and give a good sight here. It's a very open race, but a slight leaning to the 3-year-old Grinzinger Star. 12 from 3, 6 and 5. Caulfield Race 3, it's a benchmark 84 over 1,600 metres. My numbers are 9, 11, 6 and 8. I think this is the best bet of the day, number 9, Prometheus. Started big odds when he won the Grand Handicap Mile at Flemington back on March 16, but he just got back onto dry ground and showed his true ability. He's since had a little trial at Canberra to keep him fit for this race. He's drawn beautifully. There's good speed in the race. I think he's a standout bet on the program. To beat number 11, Angelucci, ran very well last start and is a lot better weighted here. This time with the claim for Fred Kersley. 6, Intueri, did a good job to win last start, but he got the claim on that occasion for Michael Poy, which he gets again, but he's not as well treated at the weights and there's a little bit more pressure up front. And maybe number 8, Laughing Air, next best. I thought he'd do a little bit better last start, but it was a leader-dominated race. The higher pressure of this race should suit, and he could maybe get into the placings. But I do think Prometheus represents the best bet of the day. 9 to win from 11, 6 and 8. Caulfield Race 4, it's for the 3-year-old fillies over 1,600 metres. My numbers are 2, 10, 12 and 8. This might be the last lead up for a lot of these fillies going into next month's Australasian Oaks at Morphettville. I think number 2, Music Bay, is trending very well for a race like that. She was runner-up at her first 2 runs this campaign and then scored a really comprehensive win against the pattern of the day at Sandown last start. It was very much an on-paces track. She came down the centre of the track to win well. I think she's looking for this longer trip now, and from the good draw, she's going to be hard to beat. Number 10, Tysonics, going very nicely also for the Chris Wallace stable. Both of her runs have been excellent. Probably just trapped back towards the inside last start and didn't get a lot of momentum, but ran well. Number 12, Collectible. She's on an Oaks path. She won her maiden in good fashion at Sale first up, and the longer trip will suit. And 8, Nasaim. Was a good win first up, and then second up, probably a little bit too much pressure from a wide draw. She gets a cheap run from the draw here, looks next best. But it does look the right race for Music Bay to continue on her winning way. 2 from 10, 12 and 8. Caulfield Race 5, it's a 3-year-old over 1,200 metres. My numbers are 1, 2, 4 and 3. I'm going back to the class runner here in number 1, Poised to Strike. He was beaten in Sydney over the carnival there, but his previous runs were very good, and he's just well placed here to get back to the winners list. To beat number 2, More Than Exceed. This horse resumed as a gelding first up at Sandown and won very well. Got very warm pre-race that day, but he still proved too good, so I think he'll be even fitter for that run. Gets the claim for Kayla Crowther and will run well again. Number 4, High Ratio. It was a good win last start. He's finally hitting form. He's taken a long time to get back to his early 2-year-old form, but he's found it now and he'll be competitive again. And 3, Crystallise. Past 2 runs when she's been tried at 1,400 metres, she's had an EIPH internal bleed. I think she's just a 1,200 metre specialist. She's back to that trip and she can certainly improve. But I'm with Poised to Strike. 1 from 2, 4 and 3. Caulfield Race 6, it's a 3-year-old fillies handicap over 1,100 metres. My numbers are 1, 9, 6 and 7. I'm going to go with number 1, Thrillster. It's a good starting point. She's the best horse in the race. She's got a terrible draw to overcome, but she's trialled up very well. Her form in the spring was terrific. She won the Atlantic Jewels. She ran so well in the 1,000 Guineas. I think she can be just too good for this field with any luck in running. To beat number 9, Golden Halo, she too's a good filly, stakes class. Her run at Sandown last start was good. They led on her, which was a surprise tactic. She was run down late, but she looks a very good chance here. Number 6, Thine Is the Power, has been really consistent this campaign and competitive in this grade despite an awkward draw. And 7, Voila, down from Sydney for Chris Waller. First up run had merit and will be fitter for that run. But I'm going with Thrillster, just think she's the best horse in the race. 1 from 9, 6 and 7. Now for the Caulfield Quaddie. In the first leg, I think this is the most open leg of the Quaddie. We're going 1, Thrillster, from 9, Golden Halo, 6, Thine Is the Power, 7, Voila, but chances also to 12, Irresistible Girl, and 15, Fidelia. In the second leg, going with 7, and that is Manolo Blahnik, from 3, Streets of Avalon, 2, Fastnet Tempest, and 8, Zebulon. In the third leg, 10, Octobello, from 2, Night's Watch, 8, Planciel, and 5, Furion. And in the final leg, coming home on 8, Haunted, from 3, Addictive Nature, and 1, Dollar for Dollar. Caulfield Race 7, it's one of the features. It's the Victoria Handicap over 1,400 metres. My numbers are 7, 3, 2 and 8. I'm going with number 7, Manolo Blahnik. He's had the 2 runs back from a short break. He ran well in the Hariba at Mornington and he was very good here last start in the Anniversary Vase. I think he's beautifully drawn and I actually think he goes best for Dwayne Dunn, who's back in the saddle. To beat number 3, Streets of Avalon, he's a remarkably consistent horse. He had the run last start at 1,200 metres. I think he's looking to get back over 1,400 metres now. I think he's the main danger. 2, Fastnet Tempest, had no luck at all in the Anniversary Vase. He ran into dead ends virtually all the way up the straight. I think the small field really suits him and he can be competitive. And number 8, Zebulon, ran well in the Golden Mile at Bendigo. I think 1,600 metres sees him out. I think back to 1,400 suits and he looks a chance. It's a small field, but it's a very competitive race. My numbers 7, 3, 2 and 8. Caulfield Race 8, it is the Easter Cup over 2,000 metres. My numbers are 10, 2, 8 and 5. I'm going for some value here with number 10, Octobello. Tab Cranbourne Cup winner in the spring. He's had 2 runs back from a spell. I thought his first up run was quite good. And second up, I was really surprised to see him punch forward in the Golden Mile at Bendigo. It's not his racing style at all, but what he did have was a solid hit out and he only weakened in the last 100 metres. I think third up, 2,000 metres, Damien Oliver going aboard and on his home track at Caulfield. He's a terrific each-way gamble. To beat number 2, Night's Watch, he's had the 2 runs in Sydney at Weight for Age. Back to a handicap here, he's very well placed. I think he'll run well. Number 8, Planciel. The little query on him is running a strong 2,000 metres, but he races well here at Caulfield. He's going to get a very cheap run from the draw and drops in weight. And 5, Furion. He's terribly disappointing in the Golden Mile at Bendigo, but he got a long way back. I think from a good draw here, he'll punch forward, be in the first 3 or 4 in the running. He's a winner at Caulfield and he could certainly improve. But I think Octobello represents tremendous value. 10 from 2, 8 and 5. Caulfield Race 9, it's an open handicap over 1,200 metres. My numbers are 8, 3, 1 and 11. Interesting race because numbers 8, Haunted and 3, Addictive Nature, trialled together at Werribee recently. There wasn't a lot between them. Haunted's a terrific racehorse. He's very consistent. 11 starts, 5 wins, 5 placings. I think he maps for a great run here and I just think he might be a better sprinter than Addictive Nature, who only had the 1 run last spring. That was for the Weir stable and he was put away. Now with the Danny O'Brien yard. His trial was very good also. I think they're the 2 main chances. Dollar for Dollar has got a fantastic first up record and he's unbeaten at 1,200 metres. He resumes from a spell off the back of a good trial at Werribee also. I think he's the other winning chance and a place chance to number 11, Spirit of Aquata. Ran well here last start. I just think this is a stronger race. But my numbers for the last 8, 3, 1 and 11.